Hello. So before we start, this is a message, an SMS that I received back in 2015 when I was living in London. So the message was saying, "Nice talking to you the other night." S. Now, what I want you to do for the rest of this video is to think what would you reply to that message, and then at the end of this video, I'm gonna reveal my reply. Now, to make things a bit more spicy. Keep in mind that the number of the sender was looking legitimate, and even when I Google it, I didn't find anything suspicious. In addition to that, the night before, I was indeed out with some friends for some drinks, right? Anyway, you've got something like 15 minutes to think about what would you reply to that message. Now, hello again. So my name is Antonis Michalas. I'm working as an associate professor at Tampere University, where I also co-lead the Network and Information Security Group, NICEP, along with Professor Billy Bob Bramley. So together we will be doing the master's course, Security Protocols, helping Alice and Bob to share secrets. And this video is about the logistics of the course, right? So communication, as you already know, I'm the course leader. My office is E.206 at Tieto Talo building. Office hours every Thursday at 3 to 5 during term only. However, keep in mind that I've got an open door policy, which means that, you know, whenever you want to discuss something related to the course, or you have some nice research idea that you would like to discuss with me or share with me, yeah, you can just come to my office, and if I'm available, we can have a chat or brainstorm, or anyway, yeah. Now, apart from myself, there are usually three talented teaching assistants that they help me, and usually, basically, the role is to provide you with assistance during the lab exercises, as well as during the coursework that you have to submit in order to pass the course. Now, you will be able to find their contact details on the Moodle course page, okay? Finally, make sure that you regularly check the Moodle site for announcements. Now, apart from that, how to email me. I'm sure that all of you know by now how to send an email. However, let's see how you can send an email to myself. Yeah, so first of all, it would be really convenient if you can use the code of the title on the subject of your email. So yeah, com.sec.2020, and then, you know, write whatever you want. Now, this would because I'm receiving a large number of emails on a daily basis. It will be really convenient for me. It will help me to sort the emails in a much more efficient way. Apart from that, you can start your email by saying, "Dear Professor Antonis," but this is something that I don't really like, and it makes me feel quite old, so don't use that. Instead of that, you can use "Dear Dr. Antonis," but again, it's something that I don't like, and I think that, you know, it puts some kind of distance between us, and on top of that, I don't really see the reason for these prefixes to exist anyway. So you can just say, "Hi, Antonis," or if you are really excited for communicating with me, then you can say, "Hello, Antonis," with an exclamation mark. And obviously, no need to use anything like best regards or any type of these formalities at the end. Just your name and thanks. It's fine, yeah. Right. This is one of my favorite slides. So the main idea is that, you know, this is like, let's say, the universe of our field, the field of security and cryptography. And, you know, it's covered by a plethora of terms that we will see during our course. So the main idea is that, you know, once you see this slide for the first time, you might not be able to recognize many of these terms. For example, now you might not be aware of what is attribute-based encryption, or you might don't know what OTP stands for. You might think that it stands for one-time password, which is not the case. Now, once you see this at the end of the course, again, I hope that you will be able to recognize most of these terms, and you will be able to remember what, at least in a general way, what these things stand for and how they work. Okay, if not, then I might have failed in my job, basically. Right. The aims of the course. So first of all, we aim to introduce issues associated with internet and network security. And to do so, we will basically explain how we can design security protocols. And to do so, we will basically start by designing simple communication protocols that allows two or more parties to communicate in a secure way. And then we will start analyzing these protocols, attacking them, finding flaws, and then going back and redesigning them. Okay, then we design a new version of the protocol. We analyze it again. We find more attacks, and then we go back again to this designing step where we have to redesign it and try to make it more secure, attack it again, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's a kind of a trial and error, right? In addition to that, we will describe basic cryptographic primitives and see how we can use them to secure the communication between two or more parties, Alice and Bob, which are also in the title of the course. We will introduce several modern cryptographic schemes such as symmetric searchable encryption, attribute-based encryption, functional encryption, and homomorphic encryption. It doesn't matter if you don't know these terms now. I hope that at the end of the course you will know at least the general idea of what these schemes are doing. Then we will introduce special research topics such as secure and private e-voting, cloud security, cryptographic storage and privacy preserving analytics, and many more. And finally, the most important thing is that we will see the world from the eyes of an attacker, right? So we will try to understand the techniques that someone who wishes to bypass the security of a system will try to perform in order to launch successful attacks. Now, the objectives of the course is to analyze and design secure or privacy preserving communication protocols. We will apply cryptographic techniques to secure communication systems. We learn how to use cryptographic primitives in applications, which is in my opinion is very important, okay, because it's not only important to know how cryptography works, it's very important to know how to apply cryptographic techniques in a real life application. To this end, we will identify several limitations of cryptography when designing real life applications, and the most important thing is that we will understand why cryptography is not the solution to all of our security problems. Because if you think that basically crypto can solve all of your security and privacy issues, then you either don't understand your problem or you don't understand cryptography. Now, reference material. So each lecture basically will consist of several video segments plus links to further reading and other videos and materials as appropriate. Now, the idea when I was designing the course is that you don't really need a book. So the main idea was that, you know, you can just watch the videos and follow my slides and you should be able to successfully complete the course. And this is still true. Now, however, for those of you who would like to learn things in a more solid way, I would say, and in a more professional way, I think that you should follow the reference material, the two books that I have chosen for the course. So the first one is called Cryptography Made Simple, and I think it's basically it's a piece of art. I love this book. It explains provable security and protocols and how we can attack protocols and how we can redesign them and how we can build protocols, secure and privacy preserving protocols in an amazing way. Okay, so if you had to choose only one book for this course, this would be the one. Okay, Cryptography Made Simple, and you can find it online for free as well. So this book will help you a lot to understand how protocols work, how we can design secure protocols, and it will help you a lot to complete successfully coursework 1. Now, the second book, Introduction to Modern Crypto, is more about cryptography, so it will allow you to understand how cryptographic schemes work, and it will explain more of the mathematical parts of our field. Now, I would recommend that book mostly for those of you who would like to follow a research career after your master's. Now, on top of all this, in some of the lectures, I will be giving you also some research papers to read. Now, about the assessment. So first of all, we've got coursework 1, which counts for 40% of your mark. This coursework is more of a theoretical one, so basically we will give you a list of exercises, and you will have to solve them and provide a solution on paper, right? So there's no implementation. Now, there will be a second coursework as well, which will again similarly count for 40% of your mark, and this will be an implementation coursework, so in order to test your programming skills. Now, about coursework 2, you will be, we will give concrete instructions on what you have to do and how to do it, and there will be the teaching assistant that will be helping you a lot. So keep in mind that my team usually is very responsive, so we have this policy that we try to reply on each email in less than 24 hours. We can't always achieve that based on the deadlines that we have and the workload that we've got, but usually that's what we try to do. Okay, so in both courseworks, my teaching assistant will be there to help you, and basically there will be a lot of hand holding there, I think. Now, for both courseworks, we have something that we call qualifying mark, which is 40%. Now, what's the qualifying mark? The qualifying mark means that in order to pass the course, in each coursework, you need to get at least 40%. However, don't confuse this with the pass mark. In order to pass the course, you need in total to get at least 50%. Okay. However, if you get in one of the courses something less than 40%, then you immediately fail. I will give an example in the next slides. Now, about coursework 2, which is the coursework with the implementation, some years we put like group exercises. Usually we just give individual exercise, but sometimes we also give the option to have a group exercise. Now, the idea behind group work is to basically, how to put it, like to randomly generate distinct groups of students. There basically you will have to spend significant time into writing some software on a topic that you didn't choose with colleagues that you also didn't choose. So it's kind of as close as we can get into simulating what developments in real worlds is like, right? Yeah. Now, apart from the coursework, we also have lab exercises, which counts for 20%. Now, the lab exercises, honestly, if you want my opinion, it's really difficult to fail, because basically the idea for me is like a bonus. Now, the idea is that you just take some hands-on experience by implementing things that you learn on the videos in theory. So we do the lectures, you listen, for example, about certificates, and then you go to the lab and you learn how to implement the certification authority and generate certificates and use them and so on and so forth. Or you learn about symmetric searchable encryption in the labs, and then you do like a toy symmetric searchable encryption scheme in the lab. Now, again, the teaching assistants will be there all the time and will take you by the hand and will show you each step that you need to do in order to complete the lab. So truthfully, I think it's extremely difficult to fail in these labs. Right. Now, how to pass the course then? So assume, so the equation for the final mark is this one. So 40% for coursework 1, 40% for coursework 2, plus the 20% of the lab, right? Pretty straightforward. Now, so assume that we've got two students, Yoni and Billy, right? So Yoni took 90% in coursework 1, so he did amazing, and only 39% on coursework 2. And he also got 100% in the labs. So his final mark, FM, is basically 40% of the 90 plus 40% of the 39 plus 20% of 100, which sums up to 71.6. We round up 72, right? Now, on the other hand, Billy, he didn't do that well, so he got only 40% on coursework 1 and 50% on coursework 2, and then 100% on the lab in the labs. So his final mark, by using the same equation that is here at the bottom of your screen, is equal to 56. Now, what's happening here is that basically Yoni, he fails. And why? Even though he has a higher average compared to Billy, he fails because he didn't reach the qualifying mark on coursework, on one of the two courseworks. Okay, so now keep in mind that if you don't get the qualifying mark on coursework 1, then you immediately fail the course. So there is no need for you to keep following the course and submitting the second coursework or any other lab exercise unless you want to do it. Okay, so I hope that now it's clear what the this qualifying mark stands for. Right. Good. Yeah, so here's an outline of the course. So the logical order that I'm taking is to start off with describing the basic cryptographic primitives. Then we will move on to the security protocols and attacks. I think this is the most fun part of the course, and make sure that you follow. And if you have any questions, if there are things that you don't really understand, just write down notes, and we will be having like Q&A sessions, bi-weekly Q&A sessions that you can ask anything related to the lectures or to the course itself, right? Then we will move on to describe widely used security protocols such as TLS and Kerberos, and then we will start by introducing special research topics and modern cryptographic approaches such as homomorphic encryption, functional encryption, symmetric searchable encryption, and attribute-based encryption. And then we will be talking about the concept of cryptographic cloud storage. Now, about the something that I forgot to mention earlier. So for most of this course, I'm not going to be able to put my smiling face in the corner of the screen because it's going to obscure part of the slides, and many of my slides are already quite condensed, and this, yeah, having just my face there doesn't make sense. Will just take much space from my slides, and yeah, so I think that's basically the first time that you see me, and then you will be seeing me in the live sessions that we will be having online. Right, so that was it. So we are back on slide 1 now. So I don't know if any of you had the time to took the time to think about it. So yeah, but anyway, what did I reply to that message? To be honest, I didn't reply anything. So this part, as I mentioned, the first part where is this SMS that I was talking to you the other night, S, is real. I did receive it. But the other part here is just a Photoshop. So the reason that I did not reply anything is pretty simple. So first of all, this message could have been sent from a male to a female or from a female to a male, right? The signature at the end is S. S may stand for Sandra or may stand for Sean, right? So it can be a man or a woman, okay? So it doesn't specify the gender. In addition to that, it doesn't specify which night we met. So it says nice talking to you the other night, but in a kind of vague way. It could have been yesterday, but it could have been like 10 days ago, right? So it doesn't really specify anything. So these two things basically made me be a bit suspicious about this message. And then I thought that, right, so maybe or probably it's one of these, kind of traps where if you reply to that message, you will start getting some enormous charges on your phone, right? So, yeah, what I wanted to say with this example is that we should be really careful. I mean, the online world, the digital world in general, these days, it has been quite dangerous and quite tricky sometimes to protect yourself. We keep getting, information that might feel or look really legitimate, but they are not. Okay, so yeah, this is an example. And just for the record, this message was just, I mean, it was sent by a friend of mine who just wanted to make fun of me for something. But then after like a month or so, he was like, "Hey, Antonis, basically, I sent you an SMS at some point, but you never replied. Why is that?" And then, I explained him the whole idea why I don't usually reply to this type of messages, right? Okay, so see you in the next video. Thanks.